Well, hello and welcome back to another edition of the Hiking Journal. Now, if you've ever driven by or through the city of Murrieta in southwest Riverside, maybe on your way out toward Lake Hemet or Diamond Valley Lake, then you just might have noticed those odd, steep-sided mountains just to your left. Big hills, really. Across from French Valley Airport at the dead end of Alba Street in a residential community lies a sweet little hidden trail that explores the western Riverside County Wildlife Conservation Area. Called the Murrieta Hogbacks, these hills are so named because of their shape that resemble the contour lines along a hog's back. That makes sense, right? The city considers the hogbacks a significant geological part of the city and has given them protected status in a general plan, which means they have to follow the city's stricter guidelines for grading and development. But what's so special about the hogbacks? Well, Murrieta historians say there's not much written about the historical record of the hills, but it has been said that that unique shape of the hogbacks made it a landmark for early pioneers traveling through the region, which led to establishing Los Alamos Road on the north side of the hills, and a stretch of that road between Via Santee and Winchester Road is also designated as a state historic route for that reason. In the area around the water tank on the westernmost hogbacks was once the site of a former avocado grove, and the hogbacks were rumored to be the site of American Indian ceremonies that went on way up until the 1920s, but accounts were only recorded in a few local newspapers. The elevation of the hills, combined with a water source of Warm Springs Creek, provides a beneficial habitat for native plants and animals such as deer, bobcats, owls, and hawks. Now, my interest is purely selfish, as I've seen those peaks staring at me every time I drive by on my way through Hemet, heading out toward either Palm Springs or the mountains above Banning Pass, toward Oak Glen, where we go apple picking in the fall. I always hear people talking about the Alba Trail on all trails, but I never took the time to find out exactly where it was. Now, a few weeks ago, while perusing all trails, looking for a shorter rehab hike after my shoulder surgery, I bumped into the Alba Trail again. Now, this time I took a deeper interest. It's only about 4.5 miles, with a paltry 426 feet of elevation gain. That looks totally doable, even with my bad shoulder. Taking a closer look at the route, I noticed it consisted of not one, but 2 loops, a front half and a back half, and it was right at the base of the Murrieta Hogbacks. Best part, it was only about 20 minutes from the house. It was an easy drive, and I could park right on the residential street. No mountain driving, and no off-roading. I pulled up my terrain navigator map on my computer and popped it into the 3D mode. Here you can clearly see the 3 distinct hogbacks and their steep-sided drops below. What I also noticed was that there really wasn't any marked trail from the back half of the loop to the ridgetop where you'll be ascending up to the top where there's a benchmark. It also looked like there was some kind of road that was fairly close to the northwest corner of the back half, and from here it looked like you might be able to take that route up to the ridgeline and then eventually climb all the way to the summit. That looked totally doable. On a cool spring morning, I loaded up my trail vest with some water and electrolytes, a few snacks, and I headed out to explore the Alba Trail and finally worked my way up to the top of the Murrieta Hogbacks. Well, good morning. It's a nice, cool, cloudy start to our day here. I'm in Murrieta, California. I'm at the Alba Trail, just off of Winchester Road across from the airport. And as far as distance goes, this one isn't going to be that far. It's about 4.5 miles, and it starts in the neighborhood. So you park literally right here on the street on La Alba, and I guess this is the beginning of the Western Riverside County Wildlife Conservation Area. Didn't know there was a thing. It looks like it's a pretty good sized area, and it just does like a double loop. It doesn't go to the top of the 3 peaks that are on the back side, on the far north side of the mountain. And that's called the Murrieta Hogbacks. Never heard of it before, so it looks like it's going to be an interesting day. It's a little cooler and cloudier than I thought. It's only 60 right now, but it's a little drizzly and a little damp because of the marine layer. So hopefully today I'll be able to get in a decent workout for my shoulder. This is my second little day hike on my shoulder, and the movement really helps. And maybe I'll get lucky and see some snakes today. I don't really expect to see a lot as long as it's cool and overcast, but if this marine layer breaks up a little bit and gets warmer later, maybe we will. So anyway, Follow me up the trails. We head up the Alba Trail in Murrieta, California. Well, as I'm starting up the Alba Trail, you can see it's literally right behind the houses here. Parking lot is right down there. French Valley Airport is right on the other side of the road. So there's a helicopter school over there. There's a lot of small planes and even some jets, small like Lear jets fly in and out of Murrieta, this French Valley Airport. So we might run into some mountain bikers today. Said it's only about 4.5 miles. It's only got about 350 feet of elevation gain, so that ought to be pretty smooth and easy. I did read there were some steep sections, but they're short, so steep up and steep ups and some steep downs. So it'll be a good test for my new boots, my Jim Green African Rangers, and as well as a good workout for my shoulder. So I got to see if I can stay on the trail here. There's a couple of little splits, and hopefully I'll be able to find my way around the Alba Trail today. Well, this is what they call the Murrieta Hogbacks, this small range of mountains right here. In this area in front of me is what we're going to be doing today. You can see the trail over there. It does like a double loop. And remember, I did mention the airport was right there, so that is a really slow flying plane right there. But anyway, we're going to be working our way. We're going to be doing a double loop to the right, and then it loops around to the left. It crosses the creek, and there's a creek on the other side over there. And then it works its way up, kind of toward the notch up that road, kind of where that house is. And then we're going to work our way, hopefully, I'll be able to find my way up to the top of that peak right there, which is the highest point on the Murrieta Hogbacks. So that's my goal today, is to get around the creek, get up to the top of the hogback, get in some good pictures, then work my way back around to the car. It ought to be a pretty easy day, I would think. Well, if you notice this yellow, almost, cobweb looking plant that's grown. This is called witch's hair. That's the common name for it. And it's actually an invasive species. And what it does is it covers the plant, chokes it out. And if it doesn't die off soon enough, it'll actually kill the plant. So it is interesting to look at, but it is quite the nuisance. Hearing quite a few different species of birds out here today. Maybe we'll get a good view of some hawks today, maybe. We'll see. Well, this gives you a pretty good overview of what we're looking at today. That's the highest hogback right there. That's the eventual destination. I wouldn't be surprised to see a coyote or a fox, definitely some rabbits. You never know, maybe we'll see something more than that. I don't anticipate seeing too many snakes as long as it's overcast and cool, but you never know. Now you can tell this is a urban trail because the helicopter that's flying by. But as I'm working my way down the trail, I see this. I've never seen this before. I pulled up the Seek Outside app, and this is called willow dock. It's from the daisy and sunflower family. I've never seen this before. It's very unusual, at least to me it is. I don't think I've ever run across this anywhere on a trail out here. Well, I'm just a few feet off the trail, and if you're not familiar with poison oak, Pacific poison oak in particular, this is a poison oak bush. It's very common. Grows wild out here in Southern California. Make sure you know what it looks like. There's a larger, more mature bush back over there. Quite a bit. It's usually common near the creek and moister areas in the shade, so make sure you know what this looks like before you go plowing through the brush. I did hear something moving through the brush back there. I couldn't see it, but I could hear it. It's probably a rabbit. That's my guess. Anyway, Pacific poison oak. Make sure you know what it looks like. You know, you hate to see graffiti out in a nature area like this, but back way off in the distance over there, you can see a mountain biker working his way across the top of the ridgeline. There's also a couple of hikers taking a few minutes behind me. Now, as I'm heading down the trail, I ran across this flowery small tree. That's kind of pretty. And I looked it up. It's actually a poison hemlock. It's not poisonous to touch, I don't think. I just think you just don't want to eat this. That's what causes the problem. There's quite a bit of it here. There's all kinds of interesting shrubs and plants down here. I don't know what this is. This is a large leafed plant down here. I'll have to look this one up. Maybe part of that lily family? I'm not sure. This large leafed plant that's growing down here is called a Yorba mansa. I'm kind of glad I stepped off the trail. It's not a very wide trail right here. I stepped off the trail to get a picture of it. A mountain bike came screaming through here, so I'm glad I was out of the way. Don't know if he would have had time to get out of the way. And it looks like Troop 148 has built a bird box. And normally out here you would think of bird boxes and you would think that it would be an owl nesting box or a raptor nesting box. This one isn't the case. There's a picture on the side of it. And I can't really make it out from this distance. Let's do a little more research on that. Well, they have a nice little boardwalk here over the creek, so you don't have to wade through or rock hop. These interesting reeds. I guess these are reeds. Well, it looks like I have a second creek crossing. This one's pretty small and narrow, easy to just hop across. So I'm working my way on the other side. This would be a good place to check for prints. Maybe on the way back. No, I thought for sure that lavender colored flower was a member of the poppy family, but it's called a splendid Mariposa lily. Looks like there's a little patch of them here growing in this one section. Now that I've crossed the creek, I'm working my way up a little more on the higher and drier side. Probably start to heat up here. I'm sure the jacket will come off here in a minute. And this is your standard cholla, your California cholla. But what's nice about this one is this one starting to bloom. And a little brush rabbit just ran out in front of me. He's on the trail right there. And there he goes. Sure I'll be seeing more of those today. It is pretty scenic out here. Now this is a different entry point to the conservation area. This is called the Winchester 700 Conservation Area. And it looks like this is the end of the area, but we're going to be going left here. Another brush rabbit just ran up the trail, so we're going to head left here and work our way around. Maybe this is where the climbs start. All right, behind me now you can see the Murrieta Hogbacks, as they're called. And there's also a home at the top over there. A couple of them with a great big antenna on top. So we're going to be working our way along the base of the hill to the left and then eventually up to the top. But I wanted you to see what's behind me, because that's where I've come from. Back there is the housing track, and this is a pretty large swath of wilderness, which is nice. They haven't developed this. You know, maybe at some point they will, but for right now, take advantage of it while you can. Out here on the Alba Trail. Well, I decided to take a few minutes here and eat some Honey Stinger's Energy Chews. I didn't get much for breakfast, just a Pop-Tart. So I thought, well, I could use the extra calories right now. There's quite a bit of diversity in the plant life here. There's a mix of coastal chaparral and scrub brush mixed in with a little bit of, we saw some choias back there. We saw some more riparian vegetation. We saw some poison oak. We saw some lilies. So it's kind of a mixture right here. Another brush rabbit just ran across the trail. And so far I've only seen 2 hikers, 2 mountain bikers. So it's been nice. It's getting a little muggy. I think once I get up, that's where I'm eventually going, up there. Once I get up there, I think that breeze will probably kick in a little bit. It might seem a little chilly. I might have to dig the jacket back out. Well, I don't know. We'll see. Might feel good time I get up there. My shoulder's doing pretty well. I can't lift it any higher than about here. And to be honest, this is actually a lot higher than I have been lifting it. I think the only reason I'm even able to go this high is because it's warmed up right now. But physical therapy's kind of brutal. It's not fun, very time consuming. But I think in the long run, it'd be a good move for me to do this. And I won't have to worry about the shoulder popping out of the socket anymore. I'm a little bummed because we had a reservation to go to Sequoia National Park coming up next month in like 3 weeks. And we had a really good campsite. We were going to go up to Buck Rock, and it's a fire lookout. I've been wanting to see it, and I had to cancel. There's no way I can do it. I can't drive the stick shift through LA. I can't drive up the mountainous roads. I can't set up my tent. I can't perform camp duties. I can walk and I can hike, but I can't do anything else. So as much as I hated to do it, and I know Jerry and Dave were disappointed, we had to cancel. Well, I had to cancel. But the backpack trip in September should still be on. That's going to be a good one. That's going to be a trip up to. We're going to go up to. From Onion Valley. We're going to go to Flower Lake for a night. We're going to go up and over the Kearsarge Pass, drop down into Kearsarge Lakes, and spend the night there. Then we're going to continue on to Charlotte Lake, which is kind of on the loop from Murray Lakes, and so we're going to stay there for a night. Then we're going to come back. So I'm really looking forward to that. We haven't been back. One thing led to another. My mom passed away one year. We had a kitchen remodel another year. We haven't been backpacking in this is going on 3rd year. So we're dying. All 3 of us are dying to get out there and get some good trail miles in and do some overnight camping in the wilderness. And I'm looking forward to that. But right now I got to get through the next probably 3 or 4, 5 months of rotation of my shoulder and physical therapy and to get this back to where it needs to be. But today I'm going to enjoy the little Alba Trail here in Murrieta. Kind of liking it. Be a good trail for kids too and families. It's not that far. It's a short trail. Inclines are subtle. A bit of wildlife. You just got to make sure you know what poison oak looks like because it's here. Anyway, I got to keep going this way after I finish my energy chews. And there's another rabbit in front of me. Just taking a break here on the trail. This direction we're heading. And little cottontail. Oh, there's another one. Went that way. You know, on the front side of the Alba Trail, it was pretty flat. I mean, you start off from your car, you go up a little tiny little hill, and you shoot down in toward the creek bottom. And then you kind of meander around the creek for a while. But once you get to the backside, something's biting me on the elbow here. Once you get down to the backside, the far north edge of this conservation area, the trail takes kind of a decidedly different turn. It's more arid, more drier up here. These little bushes they have like little fine hairs on them. They're a little prickly for shorts. But my biggest concern is the fact that there are some really short, very short, but steep uphills and downhills. And it's kind of decomposed granite, so it's a little slippery. I hate to be honest with you, but it's got me a little nervous because if I slip here and I, go to throw my arm out to catch my balance, that could do some damage to my shoulder. So, like here's another section right here, and might not look like much to most people, but it's kind of like BBs on a tile floor. And these boots don't have a Vibram lug sole. They have kind of more of a smoother type sole. It doesn't have quite the traction. I gotta admit, I haven't had any trouble. I haven't slipped once, but I've been taking it really slow, trying to plant my feet in good locations, with a rock in front of them or behind them. And like now I'm going down again. And hopefully I'll make it through the hike up and back without slipping. It makes me a little nervous. Well, this pretty little section is covered with brittle brush. That's what this is called. I thought it was like from a daisy family, and it is, but lends a little pop of color. And that's where we're eventually going, up to the top of that ridge. We got to find a way to get up there, though. Well, up behind me is the Hogbacks. I kind of went off trail a little bit, and I came up met this road, and there's a house over here, and there's a barn, there's a fence, it's private property, and then directly up over my head, up on top, is another one, and in the distance there's two people staring at me, waving their arms. I think they think I'm trespassing, and for all intents and purposes, I very well could be. I haven't seen any signs, but there's no trail. I thought there'd be a trail. According to the map, there was a road, but like the road is probably up there. But in order to get to it, I have to go up the road and around past their homes, which I don't want to do. I could navigate cross country down here, but it looks like the brush is knee deep, and I don't want to get filled with thorns and foxtails like last time. So I really don't see a way around this. If I happen to see some resemblance of a path, I'll just shoot straight up the hill, but as of right now, I don't see how that's possible. It's not worth getting arrested for either, if you know what I mean. Well, believe it or not, I found another route. This could very well just be a game trail, but it's definitely wider than what I was on. And it is going the right direction as well. So I'm going to follow this for a ways and see where it goes. It might very well end up in a brush pile, but cross my fingers. I'm already getting stuff in my socks. It is going the right way. All right, well, it looks like this path is going to get me up here. But there's a sign that says private property. Not a public hiking trail. Let's see how far I can get on the outside of this fence line. Well, it looks like I've got some company here along this path. I don't know how far up. It goes. Oh, they're puppies. Oh, shh. All right, well, they must have seen me or smelled me coming up the trail. I want to keep going. It looks like from here, I might be able to make it. All right, well, that was quite the bushwhack, fighting the dogs. I was on the other side of the fence line, so even though it says not a public hiking trail and private property, that's on the other side of the fence. So I think we're okay over here. This used to be a fire road, it looks like, at one time. It has been reclaimed by the brush. There were a couple of large, couldn't tell what they were from a distance. Hawks, maybe, it looks like, soaring overhead. But I'm not too far from the top, right up there. And that's the 215 freeway way off in the distance. That's a Kaiser Permanente Hospital over there. And there's the new Costco, if you're familiar with that area. Santiago Peak, Majestica Peak is way off in the distance. And Lake Elsinore Peak is way over there. You can hear the raptors. So I think I'm okay, as long as I can get through this next patch without getting scratched to living daylights. And you can see the hawks right there soaring. Well, you can see what I'm going through right now. I just hope I don't run into any rattlesnakes up here, because I'm not going to get to see them in a very much of a notice, you know what I mean? I can only imagine what my shin's going to look like when we get done here. Hopefully the trail will open up a little bit. Whew. Definitely going to need to do a tick check as well when I get home. Well, it looks like this is the top. And, well, I tell you what, I hope it's worth it, because I'm plowing through the brush for a while now. And here's the view from the top of the Murrieta Hogbacks. There was some resemblance of a trail, not a lot. There's supposedly a boulder pile up here somewhere. It says on the map there's a benchmark. Don't know if it's here or one peak over. Could very well be over there. It looks like it might be just a hair taller. I'm gonna keep going. And since I'm up here, this is the rock pile I was telling you about. Seems like an odd place. You know, there isn't a summit register or anything. I haven't seen a benchmark. Or if there is, it's buried somewhere. I'll scout around a little more, but this could very well actually be the highest point. Well, I made it up here to the top of the Murrieta Hogbacks. And the best I can calculate here is from this rock, on the tippy top of this rock, on my GPS, I got 1,776 feet. And supposedly, it's kind of not a good spot to be standing, so I'm going to get down. This is a little safer for me right here. 1776 is as high as I could get. 1781 is the high point. It looks like it kind of goes up a little bit that direction, but there's no rock outcrop, there's no rock pile, there's no summit marker, there's no benchmark. Supposedly there's a benchmark, I haven't seen it. The peak that's over there looks like it could be taller, but according to the calculations and according to my map, it's not. It's actually like 10 feet shorter. And even this way, it looks like it might be just a hair higher. But when you take the GPS and you start walking to the west, it actually starts to drop. It went down to 1765. So this is probably the high point right here. I did see what could be a rock pile. It's kind of scattered boulders, but they are placed in kind of an unusual position, so maybe that was it at one time. But Boy, it was a scramble to get up here, a little harder than I thought it was. A lot of bushwhacking. I got a few foxtails, but not too bad. Tricky part's going to be finding that exact same path to get back because I had to do some scrambling. And I got to avoid those dogs too. So I'm going to take a few minutes up here, enjoy the view. And you can totally see the housing track now down there. You can see the edge of Lake Skinner, which is over there. And that peak to the left of Skinner is called Mount Bachelor. I've been dying to get up there, but it's all private property. There's no trails that go to the top of that. Believe me, I looked. And Diamond Valley Lake is off to the further to the east. And I can see San Jacinto from here. You can see Palomar Range over there. You can even see Hot Springs Mountain out toward Warner Springs. And it looks like the sun's finally coming out. The breeze is nice and cool. And it feels great up here. And so far, knock on wood, I haven't seen any snakes. I'm kind of nervous plowing through the brush. But anyway, what a great view, huh? I'll take some more pictures here so you can get a better look at them than what's on the camera. You can see all the peaks to the west of me here out toward the, you can't see the ocean because we're not high enough up, but you can definitely see Saddleback, Santiago. It's too hazy to see anything else other than San Jacinto. You can't see Baldy or Gargonio from here, but I bet you on a clear day you could. So anyway, I made it up here. See if I can make it back without getting bit by a snake or arrested for trespassing, huh? Out here on that Alba Trail on the Murrieta Hogbacks out here in Murrieta, California. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Shoulder doesn't feel too bad. I had one little stumble and it's a little tender, but not too bad. I just got to make it safely back down the trail. I'm going to take a few minutes, get some Gatorade, and start working my way back. It's also French Valley Airport over there. Well, let me tell you, that was quite the bushwhack. And I got a few scratches, but it really isn't a trail. And what little path I found on the way up was not the way I went back. So I got a little off trail, ran out of room, and had to plow my way down. Then I got down to the chain link fence. I couldn't cross over it, so I had to bushwhack a little more until I found the spot where I went through the fence the first time. But now I'm back on the trail and working my way around, I guess you'd say counterclockwise on the Alba Trail. And the sun has come out. It's actually nice right now. It's hot actually, but it feels good. Maybe now is my chance to see the snakes. All right, well, here is another one of those boxes. And looking a little closer at the logo, it looks like it might be a bat. Maybe they're bat boxes. Well, I'll tell you what, this back half is kind of no fun. This is the southern loop. I'm almost back to the car, but it was lots of steep uphills, steep downhills, no shade, and it's hot. And the sad part is it's not really hot. It's only about 70, but in the direct sun it feels a lot hotter. Thankfully there's a cool breeze, and we're only a couple of streets over from the cars. You can see the houses. I'm basically paralleling the back fence of some homes. I'm going to be looping around here in a minute, and I should be back to the Jeep here in a couple minutes. But all in all, it was a pretty exciting trip. Pretty good hike, I guess. A little more than I bargained for, but aren't they always? But I didn't see any snakes today. I have a little bit of trail left, but I don't think I'm going to see any if I haven't seen them by now, because this would have been prime territory. Prime time of the year. Nice sunny day now. And I'm surprised I didn't see any, but anyway, arm's hanging in there. It's tired. You know, just from holding my camera and my phone. I rotated back and forth, you know. But I probably didn't eat enough today either, so that doesn't help. But the good thing is, I'm 5 minutes from, less than that, from maybe Jack in the Box or who knows. Hamburger, fries, and a Coke sound pretty good about now. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this episode. The hiking journal, the Alba Trail here in Murrieta, California, and my trip up to the top of the Hogbacks. Anyway, be sure and hit that like and subscribe button. Tap that notification bell. This way you'll get notifications when I post a new episode of the Hiking Journal. Anyway, take care, and I'll see you down the trail. Bye-bye. Well, that'll do it for this edition of the Hiking Journal, my adventure into the Western Riverside Wildlife Conservation Area, the Alba Trail, and those pesky hogbacks. My shoulder rehab is going pretty well, and I gotta say I got about 75 to 80% of my range of motion back so far. I'm just beginning my next phase of rehab, which is the strength building portion, and I gotta admit it's a lot more fun, but definitely more painful. I just have to remember it's only been 2 months since the surgery, and I won't actually reach optimal recovery for another 3 or 4 months. Since the peak summer months are just around the corner, and it's really starting to heat up, my hiking plans will be restricted to higher altitudes where it's a lot cooler. For those of you hiking during the summer months, be sure to bring a lot of water and stay hydrated. Bring a wide brim hat and sunglasses. Oh, and a ton of sunscreen. There's also been a couple of heat-related rescues in the news recently, and just a reminder to be safe and smart. Also, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button and tap that notification bell to get the latest updates on the channel when I post them. And once again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you down the trail. Bye-bye.